on this computer. Welcome to the Dr. Tom Show. Today I am very excited, and I've been looking forward to this all day, to have two incredible human beings who maybe won't give themselves that much credit, but by the end of this call, you really are going to understand what they do. Paul and Megan are joining us from Inclusion 21, which is a privately run day centre for adults with learning disabilities and autism aged over 18. They pride themselves on a person-centered approach, and they look to promote personal development, social and independent living skills in a setting where everybody feels welcome. So welcome to two real human beings making a real difference. Megan and Paul, welcome to the show.
Hi there.
Hello, thanks for having us. Such
a pleasure. I literally have been excited all day for this. We're recording this late, but I've got loads of energy because I can't wait to hear what's going to come. But I just wanted to start with the name of your business, Inclusion 21. Megan, where does that come from?
So me and Paul wanted a name for our day centre that would make people feel welcome, and we came together with the name Inclusion 21 because we feel like the word inclusion means everyone welcome, everybody included, and the 21 comes from trisomy 21, which is the most common form of Down syndrome, which is really close to both of us. And yeah, it fit. It was the one. But yeah,
I think it's a brilliant name because I have spoken to Paul about this before, and it was interesting to hear about why 21 is important with Down syndrome. So for our listeners who don't understand that, could you mention why 21 isn't a significant number for Down syndrome?
For me personally, I was my daughter Tally. She's 15 and she was born with Down syndrome. And trisomy 21 is the most common form of Down syndrome. And we wanted that to be a part of the name of the day centre. So initially, just backtracking a little bit, so initially we wanted to sort of like include the name Tally in it somewhere, but that was a bit of a struggle. So 21 was the obvious choice, really. And for you, Megan, your cousin, can't remember his name, he's got Down syndrome.
Yeah. So it was close to both of us, really.
And is that how you both got into this sort of line of work of helping people with learning difficulties through family members going through that, or was it something you had before?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I used to work in a completely different sector. I used to serve ice cream, and I used to get adults come in for their ice cream, adults with disabilities. And I thought, yeah, that's me. I need to go out and do that. I've got more energy than serving ice cream. So that's sort of where I saw what I wanted to do. But then also growing up with my cousin who has Down syndrome made me realise that I want to work in that sector, definitely.
And Paul, were you involved before?
Pardon?
Not really. For the last 10 years, I've worked for 3 different charities, and my role was advising unpaid carers regarding maximising their Department for Work and Pension benefit entitlement. So that was that journey. But then I've also been a part of the Lincolnshire Down syndrome support group. And this was just a natural progression. That Tally's like 15. So the natural progression for her would be to go to a day centre. I've got no knowledge of it. So it was a journey that I wanted to follow to gain more knowledge and to share my life skills as a dad and put it into practice to be able to support other young adults.
I think that's so brilliant because a lot of times we hear about care for people with learning difficulties and disabilities when they're young, but I've often thought that they kind of get dropped sometimes when they get older. Is that the case? And is that really what spurred you on now?
Yeah, and to make it different, I've been, all day centres are different. And I feel the approach that me and Megan have got, it's crazy, but crazy in a good sense. It smiles from, it is bonkers. It smiles from as soon as you get in to leaving and then afterwards. And we just bring so much energy and passion. And I think you're the same, Megan. I look at the people that come to us as Tally, really, how I would want my daughter to be supported within a day centre.
So Megan, tell us about this craziness. What is it like if we were in Inclusion 21? What does it look like?
From 8:45 in the morning, the spirits are lifted, and it could be from fake eggs flying around from Paul No, just lots of laughs and jokes. The group is absolutely amazing who we have in, and they all bounce off each other. It's just such a brilliant atmosphere. We could just be doing a craft session, then all of a sudden we'll put the music on, we'll get the boombox going, and then we'll just have a party. And yeah, it's fab.
I've heard a lot about your lockdown discos actually, and apparently Paul's got some good moves, but yeah, he's yet to grace my centre with them.
Yeah. I think that's what's really good about it, and really special about it. We do have a bit of a timetable, which we look at in the morning, but then we discuss it. Does everybody want to do this, or should we do something different? Sometimes we stick to what's at the timetable. Majority of the time, we just go in a different direction, but it's structured fun, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense, and I think it's a really great way of doing things. You often see in, well, my background's healthcare, and you see there's often too many shirts and ties and this whole professional outlook, which I don't really think serves people as well as they need to or desire to be served. And I think that's what you're bringing to Inclusion 21. Am I right? Just trying to change the narrative.
Definitely.
Everybody's safe and is in a safe environment, but it's fun as well.
So what is your aim with this? What drives you to? Because I can imagine, you say it sounds like fun, but I can imagine it takes an extraordinary amount of energy some days, and probably to get the thing started took a lot of effort. Why do you do it? What is the aim of it?
The aim would be, for me personally, well, for both of us, I know this is an aim for both of us, we'd like to run a day centre where the individual is never lost. That we're always included, that we're not people that sat in offices organising different activities. We want to be with the people, organising it together, what we all want to do, not just what we want to do.
So a real sort of community to it.
Yeah.
So you say the individual's never lost. I assume that's come from experience or maybe understanding where that is the case in places. Is that right?
I think, I've experienced some day centres where, and it's no disrespect to them because we all work differently, but where there's many people and possibly, maybe, an individual would get lost because of that not being supported, because, again, they're lost because there's just so many people within the day centre.
I can imagine it's difficult because you say it's for people with, learning disabilities. Megan, what sort of disabilities are there, or demographics of people coming in? What is the variant?
So we support adults with Down syndrome. We support adults with, we support somebody who has a brain injury. We support, I'm trying to put pictures in my face. What else do we have?
Acquired injuries after birth.
Yeah. Autism. Yeah.
And what do you think what is the potential for these people when they get involved with your centre? Do you think it changes their potential for life?
I think so, yeah. So we support a young lady. She started coming to us November time, and she got involved with our baking sessions, and she's learnt new skills along the way, and now it's developed into using her skills at home, and she'll do some baking over the weekend and then bring it to us on Monday, and it's something she never used to do. So obviously it's really nice to see that she's learnt them skills with us, well, Paul's skills, not my cooking skills. And then she's obviously gone home and carried on those skills, and then brought the masterpiece in on the Monday to show us, which is so amazing.
I think that's brilliant. That's showing independence in that individual, but I'm sure that independence goes way beyond baking once she's gained the confidence to do that.
Yeah, all over life skills.
Yeah, I agree, and in the different variation as well, just like being able to, I just think it improves everybody's confidence because of the different life skills that we're doing. That, like Megan sort of says, they're able to take those life skills home and practice, and it gets reinforced at home, which is really, really good.
So I'd like to maybe talk a little bit about Down syndrome, if I may, just to try and get some more, because I know you work with is it the awareness charity, Paul? You work with, where is it? I've lost it. The Lincolnshire Down Syndrome Support, is that right?
Yeah, trustee on the Lincolnshire Down Syndrome Support Group, yeah.
So can you tell us a bit more about Down syndrome? Like, what exactly is it and how does it affect people? Because we've all met or come across people with Down syndrome. And if I'm honest, some of the ways we approach this is as human beings, we often stare and we don't ask, when I feel that it should be the opposite way around.
I think because people don't know what to say.
So can you tell us a bit more about Down syndrome, what people are like on a day-to-day basis when they have this condition, and how we can be around them to make things better?
Everybody with Down syndrome is a human being at the end of the day, and just speak to the individual. Everybody's got a name. It's a learning disability, but there's different severities of it as well. It can be a heart complaint or a stomach complaint. With Tally, she's classed as severely sight impaired. She's got no lenses, so basically her vision's like really poor. But yeah, Tally's like, or people with Down syndrome, like any other person, they might just take a little bit longer to process the information, but just have patience, just talk as we're talking now.
I like that, and it's such a simple thing, but there is a fear. I think there's a fear of doing the wrong thing from the public, and it's nice.
I think you're right, but I think this is where again the inclusion came into it. When I was growing up, unfortunately, with my school, there was no inclusion with people with disabilities. So when we had Tally, it was completely new. But whereas I think it's quite exciting now is Tally's in mainstream school. So she's known as Tally first. And realistically, this is why I moved to the village, because to get to know the person first, disability afterwards. And I think that's really, really important. It's about inclusion. So I think nowadays, everybody's more, there is that inclusion aspect, so nobody seems different.
So with that said, would the aim of maybe Inclusion 21 be to bring everybody from the community together?
Well, again, this is our vision. Because of COVID, we've not been able to do these different things, but the vision is that what we'd like to do, say, for example, with a cooking session, so we get the recipe and we'd go to the local co-op in Skellingthorpe, and the individual would buy the products, what we need. And so therefore, the member of staff would get to know the person first. And we was delivering a local news rag around Skellingthorpe one way. And that was just another opportunity for the individuals of Skellingthorpe to see us and the people. So if they did see us in the street or in the car, it would be like, hello there, and call them by the name first. How are you?
I love that. And have you seen it? So how long has Inclusion 21 been open for? How long have you been running that for now?
Since last September, the 1st September.
Fantastic. What a great first year to run Inclusion 21. You guys have done so well.
Yeah, we're really proud of what we do. We get some lovely feedback, but the feedback is the smiles that we get from the individuals.
And what do you need to take Inclusion 21 to where you see it? What's the next step? What do you...
We're on the road, aren't we, Paul? I think to carry on with our activities, we have a new timetable coming up, which is really, really fun. So we've got lots of community projects coming up where we want to make cakes for the local nursing homes and go and take them. Lots of new craft ideas, some day trips, just to carry on with those activities and get new friends in the door. And just get our name out there more.
Yeah,
brilliant.
And being a part of that community, like say, for example, tomorrow, we've actually, we've arranged to go to a local allotment in Skellingthorpe. and that's a part of the food bank as well. So it's putting something back into the community, volunteering for something, giving everybody a vision really of another expertise that they could possibly do that they've not experienced before.
So good. And I really like how you're taking these wonderful people, and a lot of times we think that we need to help them, but you're inspiring and giving them platform to actually help their community as well, which is again a bigger part of that inclusion, which is lovely.
Mm-hmm.
If you could give any advice to anybody who is, living with someone with a learning disability or struggling at the moment through that, and maybe they haven't got access to something like Inclusion 21, what would you say to them? Is there any advice you'd give or encouragement? Think back to maybe Paul when Tally was born, maybe what you were going through then. What would you say to those individuals?
There is negativity out there, as we experienced when Tally was first born, and it's negative. But try and tap into everything that you possibly can do, even though you might not think it's pertinent at the time. But try and tap into everything that you can, not just for the person being looked after, the person being cared for, but you as well as the carer. That's really quite important, about looking after you as well as the person that you're looking after. If you want to join a carers group or something like that, there's always one local to you. And I think that's quite important, again, looking after yourself as a carer. But be proactive. Be positive, be proactive. Sometimes it's difficult because once you jump through one hoop, there's another hoop, and then there's another hoop. But be positive, be proactive.
I love that. And you see it a lot with people going through, if someone's diagnosed with some kind of serious condition, the partner often gets forgotten in that, or the parent gets forgotten in that, and they need as much support as the individual. So thanks for sharing that, Paul. That's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Megan, if you could say anything to our audience to inspire them to get involved with projects like yours, or be mindful of these beautiful people with learning disabilities, what would you say?
Have fun.
Do it.
Yeah, just do it. Yeah, do you know what? I would never turn to any other job ever again. I don't see it as a job. I don't see it as work. I've been supporting for how many years now? Probably 10 years. And yeah, just do it. Get involved with anything you can, because it's really unprofessional of me, but I don't see these guys as work related. I see them as friends, and what I do struggle with, because you're supposed to obviously have this professional boundary, but do you know what? We have so much fun, and I do see them as friends.
Well, that's the human being in you, and I think that's something we spoke about earlier in the show about this whole, trying to be professional.
Yeah.
Yes, but as Paula said, the individual first. They're human beings, and
exactly.
We are all part of a good community.
Yeah, they are my social life. I don't have a social life away from my job.
But it shows that you've both found your calling and your passion, and what you do makes a huge difference to those, those individuals that are with you, and I'm sure their family and the wider community. How can people find out more about or the service that you provide?
So we have a Facebook page, a website, and an Instagram page. So just the basic Inclusion 21 Centre Limited in the search engine, and you'll find us. And then our emails, megan@inclusion21.co.uk, and then for Paul, it's paul@inclusion21.co.uk.
Fantastic. We'll put a link to that in the show notes so people can definitely check you guys out and get involved. Is there anything that you'd like to leave our audience with?
Visit our Facebook. That will give you a bit of an idea. We do like possibly daily or maybe weekly, like pictures of activities that we've been doing. We offer free taster sessions morning or afternoon, which just gives you a bit of an idea, a bit of a feel. There's no pressure. You come along, you meet both me and Megan and the other guys that come to us, and just experience what it's all about.
And don't forget your dancing shoes.
So can I come down to the centre? Can I come and see the place?
Yeah.
Of course.
I'd love to.
The only thing I would say at the moment, because of COVID, we're restricting people like coming in but once COVID's gone, come for it, go for it.
I'd love to. I really would. Megan and Paul, thank you ever so much for being on the show. You've really enlightened me. You put the spotlight on a topic that is great to talk about and needs to be spoken about. I think what I've taken from today is individual first, and thank you very much for showing me that. Thank you both for giving up your time, and I appreciate you being on the show.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for having us.